What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to another gaming news week. I hope you're enjoying your weekend and having an amazing day. We got a couple of news to go over, some that I missed from last week, and some news that happened this week. So with that being said, let's get on with the news. We have the official article from Jason Schreier, who works from Bloomberg, and he broke the story about the whole Bluepoint pitching a Bloodborne Remake to Sony. And it turns out that it wasn't Sony was denying the game, it was actually From Software. He goes into further details that Bluepoint has pitched an idea in twice. One in 2020, I believe it was 2021. They pitched an idea for a Bloodborne remake to Sony, but Sony turned it down. And again in 25, they pitched the idea again to Sony for a Bloodborne remake, and this time Sony actually said yes to do it. But then it turned out that the reason why the project was denied again, this time it was actually by From Software. Apparently Sony has real respect for the CEO from Software, and pretty much that since he wasn't going to be involved in it, they didn't want Bluepoint to do it, only because a while back it was said that if he wants to do something with Bloodborne, he wants to do it himself. And since Sony have high respect for him and stuff, it kind of sounds like this could be the case. So everything shifted from blaming Sony to now blaming From Software for not doing anything with a Bloodborne remake. But of course, some people say well, since Sony owns the IP, they could at least do a upgraded version for Bloodborne to run at 60 FPS on the PS5 and stuff. They constantly do something like that, but it looks like they rather prefer to be remade from the ground up, and I guess they add certain stuff. And this whole thing is just all over the place, honestly, and it's kind of sad that fans who've been waiting for something new with Bloodborne to appear, and turns out that's no longer be the case. It's pretty disappointing, but that doesn't mean there probably won't be anything Bloodborne in the future. It just if From Software have time on their schedule to do anything with Bloodborne, because currently right now they're making that exclusive Souls game Dustblood for the Switch 2. So not saying fans will get anything related to Bloodborne. It just we don't know for sure, because Bloodborne came out 2016, and nothing hasn't happened with that IP since. So I think at this point, people need to give up on the whole Bloodborne situation and stuff, because it looks like it's not gonna happen, and it's kind of sad, because I think Bluepoint would have made a really excellent remake for the game. And one thing I definitely don't like is this whole discourse now that people are saying Bluepoint messed up the Demon Souls remake. That's why Miyazaki don't want them to touch Bloodborne and stuff, which is not even true, because he's on record of saying that he actually did how Bluepoint did the remake for Demon Souls. So I don't know what's up with these Soul fans that try to push this narrative around, but it makes y'all freaking look stupid. But that's all I had to say on it. Kind of sad because if this would have went through, um, Blue Point definitely would not have been shut down if this actually went through. Nintendo had a Pokemon presentation celebrating the anniversary of Pokemon. And with that presentation, they have officially revealed the next mainline Pokemon game, which is Gen 10, called Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves. This game had been heavily leaked like a couple of months ago, but now we got the official reveal of it. Is being made by Game Freak. It'll be exclusive for the Nintendo Switch 2 and will be releasing in 2027, which I have seen some discourse around it being exclusive to the Switch 2, but in all honesty, are we really surprised that it's going to be only available on the Switch 2? Like, even Nintendo expects some of their player base to move on to the next Switch device. Like, not every game is still going to be available on the Switch 1. So, this is what they're doing. But anyway, the game focuses on it's an open world game set in the Southeast Asian inspired island chain featuring intense weather, underwater exploration, and resort/hotel theme. The game takes place on a tropical region inspired by the Southeast Asia, for example, Indonesia. Humans and Pokemon live together on the islands, typical Pokemon stuff. The game features an open world MMO-like structure with a hub. Instead of directly riding Pokemon, player use a ROM powered scooter with an energy leash that adapts to different Pokemon types for flying or diving. The three starters that you be getting in this game are a grass type named Browtit, a fire type named Ponbon, and a water type called Gekua. Probably pronounced that wrong. But the overall plot of it is the player is a 13-year-old on vacation navigating a story involving a hotel chairman antagonist and a construction crew destroying the environment. A lot of people are very excited to get their hands-on experience with this Pokemon game. I'm kind of surprised it is coming out 2027. I kind of figured this was going to come out for the holiday season. But now I'm wondering what will Nintendo have for their holiday release. I don't recall any. There probably is probably one or two big Nintendo games that are coming and stuff, but I kind of expect Pokemon to be the one to close out 2026. But we'll see what Nintendo has cooking up. So, are you guys excited for Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves? Which one are you going to get? And will this be a day one purchase? So far, they have not showed the legendary Pokemons, but they're mostly going to say those revealed at a later date. There have been heavy speculation on what could be the next project that Santa Monica Cory Barlog has been working on. Since he was not the one working on God of War Ragnarok, some people are wondering what he's been cooking at Santa Monica Studios. Some thought it was going to be a sci-fi game. Some thought it was going to be a brand new IP altogether. But according to a well-known leaker who goes by the name Nate the Hate, he has a pretty good track record when it comes to revealing certain stuff that is going to happen in the gaming community. I kind of say he's up there with Jason Schreier when it comes to him revealing stuff. I kind of put Jason Schreier a little bit above him, but Nate the Hate is definitely up there as well. But anyway, he pretty much revealed what could be Cory Barlog's new project, and this is what it could be. This report comes after rumors go around that Santa Monica wants to expand the God of War universe into more projects and stuff. And Nick the Hate believed that the next one is going to be a spin-off from God of War game that you'll be focusing on Faye, which was Kratos' late wife when he entered the Norse mythology. And he says the current plan is to reveal the game later this year and release it in 2027, which kind of makes me believe that Cory Barlog definitely have been working on this for a very long time. And when this news broke out, a lot of people was in their feelings about this only because they don't want to play as such and such. They want to play as Kratos. But the thing is, though, that it's a spin-off game. And not like we're not going to play as Kratos in future God of War games. This is a spin-off story and stuff. And like it or not, Faye plays a big role when it came to the 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. She started Kratos and Atreus on their journey. So I'm not surprised that Cory Barlog wants to make a game focus on her character, because we don't know nothing about Faye. We just know she was a giant, and she kind of predicted all the stuff that was going to happen in God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. So there are definitely fans out there that would definitely like to know more about her. And I'm one of those people. I want to know why she went against her people and why she sent Kratos and Atreus on this journey. And of course, there was a side mission in God of War Ragnarok that there was a small little town in Vanaheim that was completely destroyed, and it turns out how it got the way it is, and there was a frozen lightning bolt in the middle of it, was Faye fought against Thor, and we're like, wait, Kratos' wife, the original owner of the Leviathan axe, threw hands with the god of thunder and lived? And we also cannot forget when she first met Kratos, when he came into this realm, those two fought each other. So Faye is not just a simple giant mother and all that. She's a full-fledged warrior that took on Kratos and Thor. So with that alone, I want to know who she is. Like I personally wants to know. But of course, some people are complaining just for the sake of complaining and stuff. Like, you're still gonna get the next mainline God of War game, wherever that could be. Like people are acting like we're not gonna play as Kratos anymore. We're getting the God of War trilogy remake. We already getting speculations that the next God of War game gonna take place in Egypt, and they're most likely gonna be a God of War spin-off that you play as Atreus. Which, funny enough, some people are saying they rather play as Atreus, but none of y'all didn't even like Atreus in God of War Ragnarok. You didn't even like his gameplay segments in God of War Ragnarok. So what makes y'all want to play as him now? Because what, you're playing as his mom, who's a woman? I swear, people complain for the sake of complaining. Like, everybody always had this say like, oh, we're tired of the same such and such. When they do something different, people still complain. I swear, game developers cannot win. Like, honestly, they cannot win, and I don't understand why. But it is what it is. I'm personally excited to try it out and stuff, because other reports said the gameplay was going to be like Devil May Cry style. So I would say take that with a grain of salt until we know more about it. But it kind of sounds like it was good to go back to the traditional, well, not the traditional, original gameplay style of the old God of War games. If her gameplay is like Devil May Cry esque, so I'm kind of curious how would that look and stuff, and how big the story will be. Will it be just be like a small segment as such, or would this be a big game? Like it could be like its own main game, something like it doesn't feel like a DLC, but it feels like a whole game in itself. Like for example, Uncharted Lost Legacy and stuff, or probably Miles Morales. You know, some people say, "Oh, that could have been a DLC." It's perfectly fine for a game, a standalone game. So until we know more about this, take with this with a grain of salt. But I will say, Nate the Hate do have a impressive track record with the stuff that he says. So for all we know, this could be true and stuff. And all the people that complain about it, once if this does turn out to be true and they show off how the game plays and stuff, I bet you they're gonna start liking it. I bet you right then and there. And there we go, folks. We have the official report that HighGuard will be going offline on March 12th. After 6 weeks of it being online playable and stuff, it's being shut down permanently. And I honestly, it's funny that Jeff Keighley is reported this. Well, he was the first one I saw reported this, and he was the one that was hyping the game up when he got invited to a event to get hands-on experience with it. He was saying people would go owe him an apology, this, that, and a third. And look what happened. The game failed. And honestly, I put the blame on him, because the whole situation with HighGuard, he set that game up to be the closing game for the Game Awards of last year, which honestly did more harm than good to the game. Because now, when this game was going to come out, people was already going to look at it in a negative light, because this was the game to show off for the ending of the 2025 Game of the Year award show. You chose this game, especially when reports came out that developers and publishers pay like $1 million to show off a trailer for their game at the Game Awards. But it turns out I did saw something like the devs say they I think they didn't want it to be shown, or they were surprised that Jeff Keighley showed it off. There was like a whole thing with HighGuard and stuff. People got even more mad when they found out that Tencent was funding the game and stuff. Which, in my opinion, like, they're just funding the game and stuff. Like, I don't know why they got upset about that, but yeah, it was, in the people's eyes, that was not a good look, because I guess they said they were one thing, but then they turned out like, nah, you guys are not like an indie published dev. You're being funded by a higher publisher. So I guess that was the reason for it. I didn't really go into details about that and stuff, because in my opinion, I think HighGuard was a game that tried to do something different, and just because what happened at the Game Awards, people always already gonna look at it in a negative light. Like me and a couple of friends of mine, we tried HighGuard when it was like a free beta and stuff to try out and stuff. It it had like a foundation that it could definitely find its audience. It just for us personally, uh, it just wasn't the game for us. But it definitely had something that could get its own audience. But when this news came out that it was being shut down, um, the Play High Guard put out a statement, and this was the statement they had to say. Today we're sharing difficult news. We have made the decision to permanently shut down HighGuard on March 12th. Since launch, more than 2 million players stepped into HighGuard world, you shared feedback, created content, and many believed in what we were building. For that, we are deeply grateful. Despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term. Servers will remain online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches in while we still can. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life of the game. We'll be adding a new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Full patch notes are coming, and we're targeting tonight or tomorrow morning for patch release. For all of us at Wildlight, thank you for playing, for supporting us, and for being part of HighGuard's story. Yeah, it was pretty bad. At one point, like, the player base went down to double digits and stuff. Even the developers in a Kotaku article even said that HighGuard developers reportedly thought the game had more runway before Tencent pulled funding. Some blame hubris for not beta testing the game ahead of launch. And that was another thing about HighGuard. Their whole marketing thing was all over the place. Like, since the reveal of it at the Game Awards, they went silent for almost a whole month. Like, literally, in January, there were no posts about HighGuard, nothing. Nothing at all. And at some point, people thought the game was even canceled, or people just straight up forgot about that it even exists. So I'm so confused why they did not try to market HighGuard. But it's a shame this happened. Like, the studio, by the looks of it, is not gonna go anywhere. They're most likely gonna try to develop a new game. Probably take some time to reflect how they handle HighGuard. Time will tell if they will make a comeback after this. But yeah, this just shows, even if a game is free, it does not guarantee success. And unfortunately, these devs learn the hard way and stuff. And I'm hoping they'll come back stronger wherever their next game they release. Resident Evil 9 Requiem have blown up and is on a roll. The Resident Evil Twitter page has posted thanking the players for their amazing achievement with Resident Evil 9. They said, "We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to over 5 million players who braved the horrors of Resident Evil Requiem. Thank you for 30 years of support." Yes, as of today, Resident Evil 9 Requiem have sold 5 million copies in 5 days, which is truly amazing. Like, I believe this will make it the highest selling modern Resident Evil game, I believe. I think so. I think I saw some people posting up how much each Resident Evil game sold in a certain amount of time. And I think Resident Evil 9 have reached the fastest one. Others took like like a month or two to hit 5 million and stuff, but Resident Evil 9 definitely did it in 5 days. And I think we could all safely say that Resident Evil 9 is definitely going to be nominated for 2026 Game of the Year. So already Resident Evil 9 have taken a slot, which means there will be 5 slots left for the Game of the Year. And I'm kind of curious who's going to be in it. More than likely, GTA 6 is definitely going to be one of them. But who will take the other 4 spots? We're still early in the year. We're only in the 3rd month of 2026. But with that being said, congratulations to Capcom on this achievement and stuff. Like, people truly love Resident Evil 9 and stuff. People can't get enough of it. Like, the two playable characters with Leon and Grace definitely benefit both player base who want that true horror experience, but also given the free action that Resident Evil 4 gave players and stuff. So kind of curious where they go from here. Honestly, is like, I don't know how will the next Resident Evil game will be able to top this. Honestly, like, if anything, I think Resident Evil 9 definitely will have some DLCs being worked on and stuff. But we'll see what happens. But once again, congratulations to Capcom. Bandai Namco put out a little teaser trailer for a new RPG that they're planning to reveal on March 5th around 3 p.m. Pacific time. What this RPG could be, we don't know. We just gotta wait and see. But it definitely have fans of Bandai Namco very curious what this is. Netflix boss have gave a warning what could happen with the Paramount acquisition with Warner Brothers. They said the result around 16 billion cost cutting over 18 months. There will be cuts in excesses of $16 billion. They are telling people who lend them the money that is going to happen in 18 months or so. So basically, it's going to be a whole bunch of layoffs and a whole bunch of crazy stuff that will happen if this Paramount and Warner Brothers deal goes through. And this could affect all of Warner Brothers, not just their movies, TV shows. It could also affect their game division. So like Rocksteady, NetherRealms, all of them could get affected too. So this will be crazy if this deal goes through, and yeah, we're gonna see a lot of stuff happen in the coming months if this deal goes through. I'm kind of wondering what did Paramount offer that made Warner Brothers look at Netflix like, do you got anything better? And Netflix like, nah, we're good. And yeah, it's definitely a crazy situation. Of course, we gotta wait to see what will the shareholders do in the end, if they will approve the deal or not. We just gotta wait and see. And so far, people are not liking the idea of Paramount owning Warner Brothers and their IPs and studios and all that. We have a couple of game previews going out right now. One of them is Control Resonant, which the devs have come out and said that it's not a Souls game or a roguelite, which is very good in my opinion. They also show a little bit of combat, talked about a little bit more. They said the gameplay is more of a Devil May Cry with a little inspiration of Infamous Second Son, which I am all about, and I can't wait to see more of Control Resonant and stuff. Uh, when it first got revealed and stuff, I was a little bit in standoff of it and stuff since I never played the first Control game. But after seeing more Resonant and I'm definitely gonna look more into the preview and stuff, what they said about them. But overall, the game is shaping up to be something truly good, and I can't wait to try it out when it releases sometime this year. And another game that was announced during the previews was Crimson Desert. People getting hands-on experience with it, with the embargo dropping on the 18th. So, kind of surprised about this. Like, of course, some people are a little hesitant by saying the review embargo drops the day before the game release and stuff. So, and a lot more people saying like, well, they've been showing nothing about the game run on PC, which may some people believe they're hiding. They're hiding how the game runs and play on the consoles version and stuff. But somebody from Pearl Abyss have come out and said they are not hiding anything. They are going to show the console version, and so Digital Foundry said they will have a gameplay of the console version. PlayStation actually put out a PlayStation blog talking about Crimson Desert preview and stuff, which they go into detail what's the resolution for the base PS5 and the PS5 Pro and what the game's running and stuff like that. So it kind of sounds like they have shown off what the game is going to be running on the PlayStation console. Sure, I think even the launch trailer for it that was shown off at a PlayStation State of Play sometime last year, the trailer did say that was running on the PS5 Pro. So we'll find out for sure. I am gonna post a link to the PlayStation blog for you to read for yourself, and I'm truly excited for Crimson Desert. I'm hoping it'll live up to what the game is trying to be and stuff. The gameplay looks fire, the world looks amazing and stuff, and if this have like a very solid story and stuff, then I'm all good. It just needs to give me a good solid story and stuff. Then I would say this game will probably gain a spot for the Game of the Year category if it does hit the marks that it needs to. But we'll find out what happens when the review embargoes come out on March 18. The producer for Marvel Tokon Fire and Soul had put out a statement letting fans know that there will be a more updated playable build at Arc World Tour Finals in Seoul, South Korea, and they'll be able to play a more updated version with the new characters Magic, Wolverine, and Danger for Marvel Tokon Fighting Soul. And they have taken a lot of feedback from the players and stuff. They show off a small little clip showcasing the improvements that they got in from the 2 beta tests and feedback from the fans who participate and stuff. And so far, everybody is loving that they're taking the feedback and making the changes and stuff. So if you're able to go to South Korea and Seoul, you'll have a chance to try out Marvel Tokon Fire Soul in a more updated build with the new characters in the roster. The date for this is on March 20th. we're gonna end off the video with this last bit of info, and this one has everybody in a frenzy. But Jason Schreier from Bloomberg had put out an article saying that Sony pulls back from PlayStation games on PC. Now, this was a shock to everybody. Some people are trying to say they hate the idea, and mostly people who's on PC and stuff. But it looks like PlayStation is going back to only on PlayStation and going back to having their games exclusive to their consoles. Jason Schreier further said the video game publisher no longer plans to put PC ports of PlayStation games such as Ghost of Yotai. Sony Group Corp no longer plans to release its big PlayStation 5 games on PC, a major shift in strategy that sees the video game maker return to console exclusivity. After 6 years of flirting with multi-platform releases, according to people familiar with the company's plan. The article further elaborated by saying online games such as Marathon and Tokon will still be released on multiple platforms, but single-player games like Ghost of Yotai and Suros will remain PlayStation 5 exclusive. So basically, multiplayer online games, multiplayers, and games that Sony has partnership with developers, like for example, you got Emerlez with Kenna, Scars of Cosmora is still gonna be released on the PC, and you got Death Stranding 2 from Kojima Productions is gonna be on PC also. So unless it's a PlayStation in-house studio, it sounds like those are the ones that will not be coming to the PC. So this have mostly PC gamers hella mad, saying that they will not spend money on PlayStation anymore. They said PlayStation is losing out on money. All this, that, and the third, to try to say what they're doing is a very bad idea and stuff. But of course, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But we could assume that PlayStation will look at the numbers of the sales of their games on PC, and also it feeds into the thought that, hey, if these games are eventually going to come to PC, why do I need a PlayStation system to play these games? I could just wait a year or such and such. But yeah, that looking like not to be the case. If you want these big PlayStation games like Wolverine, Soros, Ghost of Yotai, or any future game that PlayStation probably have coming in the future, you're going to need a PlayStation system. So yeah, it's been crazy on social media and stuff like that. Of course, you have the people that are happy about it because they like competition and stuff, which I do too. I like competition. Like, with competition, we get better results and stuff. So I don't see why would people be mad about this. Like, shoot, even some people are even saying they're hoping Microsoft do the same. So it's like, are you just mad because PlayStation doing it, or you just want games to be everywhere? The more I look into it, it's just more that people are upset that PlayStation is doing it. So I digress with that and stuff. It is what it is. And like I said, this is just being reported. We haven't seen PlayStation spoke on this, honestly, and to be honest, I don't think they will. With stuff like this, they never report. Like, PlayStation never report on it, so we could probably figure they probably do some type of announcement about it once they're like a reported earning call and stuff like that. But like I said, we just gotta wait and see. But like I said, given off this is coming from Jason Schreier, who has an impressive track record when it comes to this type of stuff, it's kind of hard not to take what he says as a actual true compared to others, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. So with that being said, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited that PlayStation is gonna go back to exclusives now, to basically giving your purchase of a PlayStation console more beneficial, especially now that if they do this, now it opens the idea like, hey, that PS6 is looking good now. So this could definitely boost sales for Sony and stuff, because now if you want their big hitter games, you're gonna need that PlayStation. Like basically just like old times how PlayStation used to do it. Hey, we got this game that would set us apart from our competitors and stuff, and you can only get it here. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Have a good weekend. And this is Storm. I'll be catching you guys later. Peace out.